Good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in your part of the world. This is King B with another video. So you see the title on the screen. Fauci funded viral research at Wuhan, which would leave no trace of human manipulation. So let's get into this article and see what they're talking about, what evidence they have of. Years after the deadly outbreak of coronavirus, investigations on the cause of the outbreak are still ongoing. Back in 2020, there were several rumors about coronavirus being man-made, and there was some evidence pointing at the possibility of this rumor. And there's the lab leak rumor. There were several discussions on this topic, and a lot of individuals had a lot to say about the coronavirus and how it started to exist among us humans. The believers of this theory think that the coronavirus might have escaped from a scientific laboratory in the central Chinese city of Wuhan. Those who support this theory strongly believe that the lab leak theory is more than a conspiracy, and a full investigation is needed to get to the bottom of the issue. The pandemic became more intense and has caused the citizens to ask more questions. Fauci, who was the chief medical advisor during this period, confessed to the possibility of this happening. Fauci replied saying the possibility of corona being a leaked virus certainly exists, and expressed his interest in putting up a full investigation to get to the root of the problem. The tip from the unknown source contained a 5-page email. The content of this email was obtained by the Judicial Watch's conservative watchdog group and shared with the public. One of the FBI agents who checked through the content of the email spoke about how alarming the contents were. Another also referred to this tip as interesting and how excited he was to follow up. The content of the document showed the real motive behind Fauci's research. Immediately, the FBI read through the details and the documents. They quickly understood the main function of the gain-of-function research, and even though most of them couldn't believe it, there was sufficient proof that the Fauci's full-funded program to make sure that the truth about coronavirus never came out. They wanted to convince us so bad that coronavirus was a natural disaster and had not been manipulated by man. The need for a comprehensive criminal investigation. The contents of this tip have the potential of becoming a shotgun weapon to get Fauci and his team. And this is something that should be done as soon as possible. The document is now proven to law enforcement agencies that they need to carry out an effective criminal investigation as soon as possible. The tip was passed along on the 23rd of April. The FBI mentioned how they got an email from the informant who passed the details of the document to different FBI Newark fields and tagged it in a follow-up call. The file attached contained information about the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Disease and the $661,000 that was handed over to the EcoHealth Alliance created for the research on bat and coronavirus research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. There would be no traces of purposeful human manipulation. The informant went ahead to explain why he decided to send out the crucial information. He also mentioned that there would be a lot of damage if the researchers were left alone. He stated that if the researchers were allowed to make use of the experimental strategy highlighted in Aim 3 of the project proposal, which included using commercial or in-house gene synthesis to produce the infectious clones. This would make it possible for them to erase all the traces that could prove that there was human manipulation and intervention in creating the virus. The document was forwarded to another FBI agent. When the first FBI agent got the document from his informant, he quickly put a call through to his counterparts at the Bureau to brief them about the new information he just received. He mentioned that the content of the email was quite shocking and it was something they urgently needed to discuss. The informant quickly got to Special Agent Gregory Erie. The FBI agent at the Bureau promised to brief his partners immediately. It was something they needed to jointly work on if they were to get the best results possible. He immediately wrote to Newark Field Office Special Gregory Erie. Erie replied quickly, asking for the details of the case so he could start to work on it immediately. The FBI opened an inquiry. The emails that were gotten from Judicial Watch showed that the FBI initiated an inquiry to fully investigate the matter. The inquiry took place around May 2020, and it was to investigate the grant that was awarded by the National Institutes of Health as it relates to the research on Bay coronavirus and how it is connected to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The perfect conclusion. At some point during the investigation, the FBI had already made up their mind. After doing adequate investigation, they immediately shared their conclusion with the world. The conclusion they arrived at was that the most probable cause for the explanation of the occurrence of the pandemic COVID-19 was an accidental leak from the laboratory. China has something to say. After the news about China being the reason why we all had to go through the pandemic, the Chinese government has finally come out to speak its truth. The Chinese government stated that they wanted to believe that this was an attempt from the United States to spread rumors about China and that the United States had decided to politicize the outcome of the inquiry. The neutral theory. Although everyone wants to believe that coronavirus was caused by a laboratory leak in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, some also believe that the pandemic could have been caused by something else. The neutral theory supporters believe that the pandemic could have originated from bats, but could have been transmitted to humans through other animals. And I would like to think that's the end of this article by That's Viral Now. Came out yesterday, 23 hours ago. And by now, I would like to think that everybody, if they've done, if you research this thoroughly, you know the truth by now about what happened, why it happened, and what's to come. And speaking of what's to come, I mentioned in one of my videos yesterday about a UN directive. Now, this UN directive speaks about taking over the United States government. And I got this information, I first heard of this information on Emergency Management Associations with Ron Tyler. Now, I have the PDF or the link to these papers, and I'm going to do a video going through it and reading through these documents more thoroughly, and just to help get this information out. So that's a video that I got coming up next, so stay tuned for that. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next video. Love yourself unconditionally. Keep your loved ones close. Watch each other's backs out there. There's a lot going on. Stay informed. Get together. Talk about your plans so that whatever situation you may face, you are prepared. So that's all I got. Shout out to my subscribers. Give the video a thumbs up. For those of you who are checking in but you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Go back and check my previous videos. I got a lot of important information that I put out in my videos. And share this information. That's all I have. This King B. I'm gone.